My wife's brother manipulated us into co-buying a house so he could secretly move in with his girlfriend and baby. I need to get this out. About a year ago, my wife's brother persuaded us to co-buy a house with him in a remote village in Taiwan. Think about it like suburbs here, a large American city, where you'll have 30-minute drive to work. We never wanted to live there. There's no transportation, no entertainment, just rice fields and old buildings. But he sold to my wife on this dream of a shared investment and said we'd split it, live there part-time, mostly us, and in 5 years sell it and use the profits for a better place. She trusted him, I never did. I always found him sketchy. I'm European and have lived in Taiwan for over 12 years. My wife is Taiwanese. So we poured most of our savings into this house construction. Meanwhile, he kept most of his cash tied up in another property from their grandfather he was renovating to rent out. Here's the kicker. From the beginning, he knew he was going to move in there full-time with his girlfriend and their secret, sick, child. At the beginning, I rejected this offer, since I didn't want to share a house with him at all. He lied directly to my face. When I asked him about her and whether they were planning a family, he said maybe she'll visit sometimes. No mention of a child that he already had on the way at that time. Fast forward to now, the house is nearly done. At a family gathering, he shows up with his girlfriend and an 8-month-old baby. Nobody know about existence of this baby before, can you imagine that? When I asked his girlfriend who the child was, she said it was from someone else. Obvious lying, like WTF? He was hiding the child from everyone all this time, just so we can buy him a house? Really? Later, when my wife called her mom to ask if it's really his child, he was sitting right there and laughed, saying, "Why not ask him yourself? You'll be neighbors soon anyway." Like it was some kind of joke. My wife cried and left the family group chat. Her mom's response? "It's your decision if you want to live with them, but I'll help pay for the house no matter what." No concern that her son scammed his own sister and brother-in-law. Just blind support because now she has a grandchild and what else am I supposed to do kind of attitude. What really kills me is how calculated this all was. He knew what he was doing, kept us in the dark until we were locked in. Now we're stuck with a house in the middle of nowhere and I can't even stand to be in the same room as him. I'm a big guy, and he's a skinny little man with glasses. For everyone's sake, I will not attend any gathering if he's there. That's how angry I am. I really need to calm down. The money? There's going to be problem for sure, for a long time, and will postpone us having a baby with my wife, but we'll recover eventually. I'll work hard on that. But the betrayal? That's permanent. Now I finally understand why my wife has a complicated relationship with her father, who once took out huge loans, failed, and left their mother to deal with the fallout. Her brother's behavior is a mirror image, selfish, manipulative, no accountability. And even his mannerisms, the way he walks into the room, always pinching hair out of his chin, digging his nose, and loudly farting. Just a shitty person overall. I'm done with him. And honestly, I'm done with their mother too. I'll protect my wife, our peace, and our future. I won't let us be dragged into another toxic family pattern. Never, though I would be used like this. We'll keep renting our place in the city, and when the time is right, we'll build a home on our terms, with no lies. I overheard men shit-talking me. They didn't know I was awake. I, 22F, went camping last year with some friends. A friend of a friend came too, Bill, someone who'd never been with this group before. I was distant and not that chatty with him, his vibes were off from the start. Also, a friend's parents showed up uninvited, along with their blatantly sexist and story-fibbing Uncle Mike. I really didn't like him, so I avoided him. During the trip, I liked taking solo walks. I didn't tell anyone when I left. I don't think I needed to. Just needed some alone time. Cut to the last night. Everyone went to bed except me, Mike the sexist uncle, Bill the bad vibe guy, and the dad, Artie. I went off to my tent, because, EW. As I was doing my thing inside, I overheard them talking major shit about me. Stuff like, "She sure is confident wearing that," I was literally in a tank top and shorts, and comments about my weight. They said I needed to fix my hair even though it was just up in braids? What's there to fix? Mike, the uncle, said I had a nice ass, which is not a win. They even accused me of attention-seeking because I whittled a stick. I always do that while camping. They complained that I kept leaving the group, even though Bill was constantly leaving the group to hang out with the Mike and Artie, not his friend. So how am I any different? But after all the shit talking, they had the awkward revelation that I was still up and heard the whole fucking thing. The next day they acted like nothing happened, of course. But they knew. I knew. I was polite, but I didn't forget. Bill even tried to steal my power bank, which I had loaned him the night before. When I asked for it back, he pulled it out of his bag. If I hadn't said anything, I bet he'd have kept it. Fucking dick. I knew their vibes were off. Glad to know I was right. A little while ago, I saw Artie again while picking something up from the friend's house. We made eye contact and I could tell he remembered. He knew I knew what he said about me. He usually doesn't make eye contact, but this time he did. I don't even know what look I gave him, but I held that motherfucking eye contact. Sometimes I replay the moment they realized I was awake. The slight panic in their voices. I'm glad I kept my light on. Glad I sat in a spot where my silhouette was visible. I'm glad they knew I heard. I hope they feel guilt. I hope they feel shame. But I didn't feel powerful then. I felt fear. Fear I've never felt before. I was paranoid that Bill was going to come into my tent. I'd heard him say something about going to talk to her, and the other two told him not to, that it was not worth it. That sentence stuck in my head. I was already uneasy about how close he set up his tent to mine. It felt off from the start. I think that's why I kept my distance from him. He put it unreasonably close. That night, I stayed up until I was sure he was asleep. I held my keys in my fist and didn't make a sound. That's the part that sits with me. The fear, what if he tried to come in? I'm strong, but would I be strong enough? Would anyone wake if I screamed? Maybe it was weed-induced paranoia, but based on what I heard, it felt like a probable scenario. It was even sketchier because he walked past my tent a few times. And I'm pretty good at recognizing sounds and what direction they come from. At one point, he walked right near the front. He was probably just going to the bushes to pee, but it scared me. I resisted the urge to hold the zipper shut. I stayed completely still. Just listened. Waited. It was an awful night. I hate that it still lingers. That I replay their words. That I replay the fear. I hate that I can't talk about it out loud because I know I'll break down. I hate that they even came on that trip. 2 out of the 3 weren't even invited, and their presence just poisoned everything. My boyfriend cheated on me and I feel so defeated because of everything I've lost. This was hard to write, to please forgive me for typos or grammatical errors. I am 25, have been with my boyfriend M25 for 9 years. He was the center of my world. We started dating in our sophomore year of high school over the summer break leading to it. We met each other's parents within the first 2 weeks of dating. Lost our virginities to each other on the night of homecoming and went to the same college. We were also roommates through college. Fast forward to nowadays, I'm finishing up law school and will be working at a firm that's not too far from where me and my boyfriend currently live. These past few years have been rough on the both of us. About 2 years ago my boyfriend got fired from his job in PR at a large firm. He was lucky to get the job in the first place, however he messed it up by getting into a nasty verbal altercation with his supervisor in which he ended up throwing a vase at him. The whole situation was a mess and it has destroyed his record, so it's almost impossible for him to get a job in his field now. He currently works in a bakery while I'm working at a firm, different firm than the one I will work at. I currently work as a paralegal and sell art on the side, so even though I don't make a lot of money I can afford to put a roof over our heads while allowing him not to contribute much financially. I have also had to take on more hours and do more commissions because I have been paying his student loans along with the majority of our bills since he can no longer do so himself. I didn't care, in all honesty, because I loved him. Every time I'd wake up with a headache I would look at him and realize it was all worth it. I was actually planning to propose to him at the end of this year. I wanted to propose earlier because I would have graduated from law school and that's when I wanted to get married. However, I couldn't because my graduation has been delayed due to me having to work more. There's a reason why I'm speaking in past tense, the title probably gave it away. I found out he cheated on me. About a week ago I was at work and I got a text from an unknown number to my work phone. When I opened it I saw a video of my boyfriend performing oral sex on another man. I could clearly tell it was another man because he was white and I'm Arabic. Above the video was a paragraph saying that the sender had been sleeping with my boyfriend for about 7 months. Just reading that first part made me vomit. I struggled reading the rest, but the man was apologizing because he just found out and was able to get my number. He told me how he met my boyfriend and thought me and him broke up. I asked him if they ever did anything in my boyfriend and I's bed and if he used protection. He told me they did and never used protection. Then he told me that coming to our apartment set off alarms in his head which made him look more into my boyfriend. That's how he was able to find out we were still together. This made me throw up a second time. I didn't want to know anymore and stopped responding. I sat at my desk thinking about the 9 years of my life I wasted. All the pretty girls and boys I turned down in college, that cute boy on the high school volleyball team that had a crush on me. The parties I didn't go to. The money I wasted. The Pokemon cards, video games I missed out on, not getting a new tattoo in years, missing the gym and slowly losing my physique. Everything I missed out on or sacrificed meant absolutely nothing because the man I was doing this for was being fucked up the ass by another man. I had to leave work early that day and I don't know how to approach this. A part of me wants to go nuclear and post the video on my Facebook so his family and friends see. I want to pour bleach on all his clothes and break all his fancy skincare products. I might even keep some of them for myself because I had to stop buying the toner and serum I normally used because I couldn't afford it. I don't love him anymore and I know I'm not going to support him anymore. When I look in the mirror and see how much smaller my biceps are and how my abs aren't as defined, I just get angry because I stopped working out as much and cancelled my gym membership because of him. I know when I call him out he's going to cry, and even though I no longer love him I don't want to see him cry. I know it's probably going to trigger something in me and make me forgive him. The thing is, I don't want to forgive him, I want him out of my life. I know I'm going to have that conversation with him soon, but I'm not ready, so I just came here to vent it out on a throwaway. Also, if you're my soon-to-be ex reading this, I hope a guy with a smaller dick was worth it, and whenever I bought him for you I faked it. I'm refusing to give money for my scam artist uncle's cancer treatment, and I feel no guilt about it. This is more out of writing therapy, so bear with me. I, 31F, have an uncle, 56M, that is currently going through an aggressive stomach cancer. The prognosis is grim. Because I still live with my mother and have no dependents, I've been able to save up quite a bit and my family has been begging me to help with my uncle's treatment. Today I finally said no in front of my whole family, and because of it, I'm moving out. My uncle has never been a good man. Since I was a child, he used the fact he was the youngest to get away with things. At first I noticed mostly petty things. He would steal 1 or 2 fancy-looking things from my mom's jewelry box, or my dad's cigars. Sometimes he would even steal a video game cartridge from me back when those were basically their weight in gold. At least to a kid. Every time he was called out, my late grandmother would come to his defense like a mother lion. He then graduated to bigger scams. Before my dad died, he somehow got him to change one of his life insurance policies to make him the beneficiary. No, he didn't kill my dad. My dad was sick for a long time and we knew he was dying. I found out about this very recently and it has made me livid. After my dad died, my mom got a job offer in Spain. We're from Nicaragua, where we live now. She was planning to pass her successful company to an employee that had been her right-hand man for years. I remember him and he absolutely deserved it. My grandmother pressured her to give the business to my uncle. It wasn't even 2 years before the business went bankrupt. My mom also, in her infinite naive nature when it comes to her brother, trusted him to sell the house we lived in and the car she had. The agreement was he would get a percentage on the sales. Nothing was signed, this was just a verbal agreement between them. She gave him the deed and keys. We never saw a penny. And the last insult he did to me directly was stealing my inheritance. My grandmother left me her condo. I have no intentions of returning to Nicaragua. My time there is over. So I was planning to sell it. I was 18 when this happened, so my experience dealing with home sales and lawyers was zero. He used that to convince me to give him power of attorney. He stole the condo, put it under his name, and now rents it out. I see nothing from it. He already had received a house from my grandmother. A 3-floor house with a pool worth twice what the condo was worth. Because of this, I had no money for college since the reason my grandmother was leaving the condo to me was to sell to pay my studies. So I had to ask for a loan. I needed 3 signatures. I had my mom and my godmother. He claimed he would be the 3rd signature. He never signed. Eventually we figured it out, but this mess made me lose 1 year before I could study. I didn't want to have a gap year. Nothing against it, just not something I wanted to experience. Now he's sick. Really sick. At first I thought it was a joke or another of his scams. I even made a post in another Reddit about it and people agreed. but today I saw him via video call. He looks like a skeleton with some skin and hair. I should feel something, he is my uncle. I feel nothing. Absolutely no love or care. When he cried for my help, saying no was as easy as breathing. I didn't even have to think. When my mom shook me and berated me for not caring about family, saying I don't care if he dies came out of me like it was nothing. He's nothing to me. I should feel horrible. I should want to help. But to be honest? If he dies, good riddance. Maybe I'm a horrible person. My wife cheated on me and my child isn't mine. I contemplated posting on a big platform but I have no one to go to. I almost posted this last week when I made this burner account but backed out of it immediately. I don't know what to do. I feel like asking for advice is pointless but I need to rant and scream. I've been talking to several attorneys and I'm screwed. I live in California for starters. Both late 30s. Married 11 years. We have a 4-year-old. I didn't know this was a thing but after burning so much of money talking to several attorneys just to get the same feedback. Long story short, California law says I'm the presumed father and since it's been more than 2 years of child's birth it's too late to challenge paternity. I have DNA evidence this child is not mine but if I divorce her over this I'll still be required to pay child support for a child that isn't even biologically mine. It's such a messed up situation. If anything my wife owes me money for ruining my life. One of attorneys thought it was a joking matter and joked that this is why you never get legally married to a woman and how I should have got the DNA test sooner. I didn't know my wife cheated on me. It's a very long story how we got to the point where I had to get a paternity test. Either way the court does not care if the wife cheated. I'm so stressed. We bought a house and the interest rates are insane. The mortgage is killing me already. My wife screwed up my credit score. If I file for divorce, I can't afford to pay support and find a new place to live. I'll be homeless. I don't have a good support system and I don't want anyone to bum off of or lean on at this difficult moment. Sure I have some close friends but they have families and children of their own. My first instinct after finding out my wife cheated on me is wanting to leave her immediately. I can't ever be with a woman who cheated on me. It's a slap on the face to stay with a woman that cheated on you. It's the worst thing she could ever do. I hate her. I hate that she put me in this situation. It's either stay and keep my house and my money or leave her and become homeless and legally be required to pay both spousal support and child support to my wife. I don't love the child I thought was mine anymore. I stopped pulling my weight in the house. My wife is a married single mom. This isn't my child and I refuse to help out physically. I already am obligated either way to provide for a child that isn't mine financially. There was a donut and dad's event at preschool and I refused to go and her child is upset that I didn't go because the mom went to the muffins and mom's event on Thursday and then they had the dad's event the following week. I'm not anyone's dad. The child doesn't know exactly what's going on and is mostly confused when I say I'm not their father and how their mother is a liar. My wife got mad when I said that to her child and threw her boots at the back of my head and told me to go to hell. Then she told the child not to listen to me and I'm just crazy. My wife told me to grow up and I need to shape up or else she will make my life a living hell. I'm already in hell. I'm stuck with a whore for a wife and a child that isn't even mine. My wife is dead to me. I'm only married to her legally on paper. I'm going to treat her like shit. I'm going to have relations with other women and rub that in her face. She's more emotional than physical. I remember she freaked out when I liked another woman's photo on social media and made a huge fuss about that. For her, if I gave another woman my time, money, attention, and the GF treatment, that's much worse to her than me having a one-night stand. I'm gonna do both though. I wish I didn't take that test but I had to know if it was true. I'm heartbroken, I feel humiliated, and I'm trapped. I feel like the only way out is driving over a bridge. Edit, there are legal issues with me just leaving the country. You can't just run away from a situation like this and start over and expect there to be no consequences for abandonment. Not to mention you can't just become a citizen just like that in a random country. That isn't a logical solution and this is not an option. Also the women on this sub are mad suggesting I stay and be a father to a child that isn't even mine. Haha, that's not happening. I'll probably have to stay legally married due to the messed up laws in California but by no means does that mean I'll be a husband and father by heart.